SMT Nation, we back. There's an article on fiercewireless.com. I'm going to link it in the description for you guys. But man, it's an interesting one. Look at the phrasing here. 5 pieces of advice for Verizon. Industry Voices Lowenstein. This is, I guess, a contributor to Fierce, and it sounds to me like he's either an investor of some sort or an analyst of some sort. And these are the money people. And when they talk, I think the CEOs of these companies are wise to listen because that's where they put their money. All right, so it lets them know the intentions and the feelings and the pulse of the market. All right, so Verizon's been hurting in the consumer segment. They don't really have a positive rapport with the switching customer. They don't have a positive rapport with their loyal customer base because of price hikes. They're not known for having the greatest promotions. They are known for having weak marketing. They are known for having a good network. In many instances, it's the most reliable and it's high quality and it's the premium marketed experience and all of those things. But T-Mobile is spanking Verizon. AT&T is spanking Verizon when it comes to the consumer side, and that's where a bulk of the revenues are generated. All right. Additionally, T-Mobile is competing with Verizon for some of the same new revenue streams, right? So he's got 5 things that he suggests advice for Verizon. He's basically saying to Hans, here's what you should do. All right, here's the first thing. And let's go through each of these and see if we agree or we disagree. Comment down below at any point in this video. All right, the first thing he recommends, do something unique with consumer 5G. All right, so look at the way he phrases this. Verizon's ultra wideband, 5G ultra wideband, C-band, 175 million pops covered. In and of itself, a tremendous feat. They did this in 1 year. Absolutely tremendous, major accomplishment. No other network operator has ever done anything like this. Not at this scale, not at this pace. All right, now T-Mobile's 5G UC becomes the standard of pops covered because they've been building it for going on its 3rd year. All right, AT&T lags Verizon by probably 6 to 12 months. Or I'm guessing they're speaking to the to the T-Mobile 5G UC build. So yeah, I'd say that's probably accurate, right? Just looking at the pops covered. So he's basically recommending let's get away from the gimmicky streaming TV and music giveaways and let's develop relationships and unique apps where Verizon's 5G network becomes the shining star. You got this ultra low latency, you've got this incredible throughput and capacity. Let's do this with our network, right? Demonstrate the use case, demonstrate the network as the shining star. Instead of just telling people how ultra fast and reliable your network is, let them tangibly see what you can do with it. I agree. If you're going to distinguish yourself with your 5G network, you have to allow people to do unique things, have unique experiences with the network based on its special characteristics and qualities. All right, the next piece, double down on the enterprise. All right, so this is basically a new segment, right? 5G enterprise. This is going to be something we're going to have to see how this plays out. But T-Mobile's looking to get involved. AT&T, is going to be involved when it comes to enterprise. And Verizon, of course, is the name in the game. When it comes to enterprise, building private networks, business solutions, we expect this to be something for them. I agree. This is something they have to keep their eye on and maintain. You know, they're in the catbird seat for that. Now, this one's a little bit, I'd say, abstract here. What are they going to do with TracFone? They just got rid of their consumer segment CEO, Manon. She was literally brought in January. She was let go in December. Not even a full year. She's gone. What is the vision? What is the plan? What is the execution that we're going to see out of TracFone? They essentially bought 20 plus million subscribers from TracFone. They've got a ton of brands that they're probably going to need to consolidate, and they're probably going to have to develop a model of how they're going to be operating this. Now, so far, they haven't really done much other than try to get people converted to the Verizon side, get them away from SIMs that are connected to AT&T and T-Mobile, and that's been messy, and that's caused a little bit of churn. It looks to have stabilized, but what are they going to do with all the brands? Net 10 and Page Plus and all these other brands. They're looking at TracFone by Verizon. They got the Visible and all these things. They're going to have to consolidate, focus, you know, develop some sort of a synergy out of all this. All right. And they've got to get a clear marketing presence with the brand, with prepaid. You got to be competitive in prepaid. The margins are slimmer, and you're going to be competing with the likes of Boost Mobile, Cricket Wireless, and Metro by T-Mobile, who in my estimation, I feel like Metro is the gold standard. Them and Cricket, those two companies, when you think of the prepaid dominance, that's where it is. All right. Additionally, the fourth option here, the fourth thing he says, realize the fixed wireless opportunity is finite. So here's where I'm at with this. This one is interesting. It is finite, and the reason I say this is because when cable starts to transition to network experiences that are akin to fiber, then it's basically like, how does fixed wireless compete? Because you're not going to get a better network experience pretty much ever at that point. There are some instances where fixed wireless is better than cable, right? But at some point, I think some of those things are going to become obsolete. They're going to be a push, or cable's just going to be that much better. And then at some point, I think cable also wakes up. I think there's going to come a point where the fixed wireless pressure is going to become so heavy, they're going to stop explosive pricing. And then what is fixed wireless going to do to differentiate themselves, right? We're going to essentially have parity, right? So what is Verizon and T-Mobile going to do when everything starts to flatten, right? So, you know, Verizon should be looking at 2023, especially with the additional clearance of C-band across the entire country. They should be looking at 2023 and 2024 and 2025 as well as their prime time renaissance period for growth with 5G home. And the one thing that I think Verizon must do, and this is what I would want and what I would recommend, in order to truly achieve the potential of the 5G home internet ads, people signing up for the service, you have to be competitive in the consumer wireless postpaid, right? So the people that are getting the 5G get more, do more, play more, all those things, you so far at Verizon, you have made it difficult for some people to switch to Verizon's 5G home. You're either paying 50 or 70 bucks or 80 bucks or whatever the plan is, right? There's two different options. In order to get the discount, in order to get the good pricing, you have to have their wireless service bundled with it. But those plans are more expensive than their competitor plans at AT&T and T-Mobile, right? So they're more expensive. So customers are looking at like, why do I want to pay an additional $40 or $50 a month on my account just to get a $25 discount? It's not worth it. They can do the math, right? So Verizon is not doing enough to garner the attention of the consumer on the wireless business, regular mobility, and it's hurting their fixed wireless access ads. Verizon should be adding 300, 400, 500,000 net ads some quarters over the next 2 years as they can take from cable, because cable customers do have venom for cable, whether it's the explosive pricing with promotional rates that end up doubling after a year or two, or it's, poor customer care and experiences. These are essential opportunities for Verizon that they must capitalize on. That's why they need to be competitive in consumer, because the uptake of your fixed wireless access calls for you to be competitive in your postpaid consumer. And lastly, develop an effective consumer marketing campaign. Right now, what Verizon does is they get people like Julian Edelman, right? They try to bring these well-known, high notoriety people, celebrities, to talk about how reliable their network is. That's not going to do it. It's not doing anything. It's ineffective. Nobody at this point is going to Verizon as a brand new customer like, oh, I got to have America's most reliable network. If people believe that and know Verizon to have a reliable network, they're there already. You're trying to get new customers, right? You're trying to get AT&T customers and T-Mobile customers, right? You can't do that unless you have an effective marketing campaign that lets people know that this version of Verizon, this Verizon company, being a customer on our network at our consumer value, right, when it comes to plans and services, is the way to go. What they've done up to this point for the last couple of years has been ineffective. And there's proof of that because they are not gaining customers. The churn is as high as it's ever been, and consumers are leaving, and the business numbers have slowed, and the consumer ads are negative some quarters. They've had losses. none of it's working. So they have to come up with a new identity. How are they going to market their brand? How are they going to position themselves within the industry? Right? Otherwise, they're just spinning their wheels. And remember, Hans got rid of Ronan Dunn and a year later got rid of Manon, who he brought in, right? So who's to blame? Who are you going to keep blaming? There's nobody there now, right? What do you guys think? Do something unique with consumer 5G, double down on the enterprise, do something with TracFone, realize the fixed wireless access 5G home opportunity is finite, and then develop an effective consumer marketing campaign. What do you put at the top? What do you think is the most important? What do you think is the least important? And do you agree with their takes, Mr. Lowenstein? And do you agree with the SMT's takes? Sound off in the comment section below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, subscribe for more, and turn on the bell notification icon to never miss an upload. Links are in the description for all things going on with the channel. Big shout out to my Patreon supporters, the SMT patrons. Y'all are the goats, as well as the YouTube members. Thank you guys for supporting me as well. Y'all the best. We'll head out with some positive vibes here as we leave the video. Every new day is a new opportunity to be great. Go out there and be great. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.